맞아. 저걸로 해줘. Hello. Good morning, everybody. As you know, in many years ago, so occasionally I met those tourists, mainly the foreign tourists. Then recent years, I didn't have that kind of program. Some question, answer. Some questions.
Several months ago, I was doing seva for a Buddhist school in Ladakh, and I was involved in a terrible accident where I broke my face, my hand, and I was debilitated for many months, and my body might never be the same again. This question isn't only for myself, it's for, I'm sure that a number of other people here have experienced such traumatic injuries. And what is a Buddhist way, a Buddhist point of view of how to transform all the pain of such an experience into something better that can help everyone and help ourselves? Thank you.
I think firstly, make a comparison. You already faced some tragedy. Then think, even more serious tragedy. Then you feel, oh, if that happened, then much worse than the today's tragedy. Clear? Then also, you see, look any problem from distance. If the problem look from very close, then it appears unbearable. The same problem, look from distance. Also, you see, think, oh, there are thousands of people having that kind of experience of that kind of tragedy. Then you may realize, oh, I'm quite fortunate. In spite of that, still I can work, that kind of feeling. That I usually do when some sort of difficult sort of situation develops. Then think, 7 billion human beings. Then the mental sort of stress, where worry automatically reduce. Clear? That's one way. Next question.
In India or abroad, everyone knows what is truth, what is right. Theoretically, everyone knows what needs to be done to make this world a better place. But why is it so difficult for any individual to practice in practicality?
I think education. Now, for example, become professor, become one chancellor. Really great. But in order to achieve that, not through prayer, if there is so much corruption, then maybe through dollar, you may get little higher sort of position. Even in universities or colleges, there are some politics also sometimes happen there. So, any, important sort of thing need more effort. Like education, 15, 20 years study, then become real sort of famous sort of professor, knowledgeable professor like that. So similarly, in order to become a scholar, use only intelligence. Now, people who try to seek truth, intelligence alone not sufficient. Some deeper experience must develop. That even more difficult, take more time. First, knowledge level. Knowledge also through hearing, reading, first level of knowledge. Then contemplation, constant analyze, or investigation. Then that brings real conviction. The second level of awareness. The third level of awareness, then familiarize, get used to these the views, day and night. I mean, not 24 hours, but at least daytime, whenever some occasion, think more. And daytime, more sort of effort, more analyze, or some sort of experience. Then dream time also automatically come. So, like that, day and night, the thing which you have full conviction, then make familiarize. That eventually affect our emotion. That's the way. So they're difficult because we never pay much attention about these things. Then you also mentioned the word because of truth. Truth. Right and truth. Ultimately, I believe anything which bring us benefit, mainly mental level benefit, that's a positive. Because we want a happy life. And anything which ultimately creates more worry, more problem, that's bad. So the very concept of bad and good related with our experiences. And particular circumstances is a certain thing usually consider, like medicine or food. To somebody, this medicine very good. To someone, that medicine very harmful. So we cannot say something absolute good and absolute bad. So all the very concept of good and bad depend on our sort of experience. Then those things which brings benefit to us we can call truth. Then philosophical level, religiously, then there are the different sort of views. According to theistic religion, God is ultimate truth, reality, absolute, permanent. According to non-theistic religion, such as Jainism and Buddhism and one part of Sankhyaism, no God, no creator. Buddhists consider Buddha as a teacher. He himself is to come from similar level, just like us. Then gradually, transform his emotion. More development, more wisdom come. Then finally, enlightened. So that's Jainism also quite similar. Buddhism, Jainism, and one part of Sankhyaism is a self-creation. All these are ancient Indian sort of tradition, clear, like that. So now here, the different concept of truth. So therefore, I usually say telling or sharing with people, in terms of individual, the concept of one truth, one religion is very relevant. In terms of community, and the concept of several truth, several religion is relevant. Now, in terms of 7 billion human beings, the several truth, several religion, they are clear. So that's a deeper level of truth. That's very complicated. Next question. Oh, young girl.
Namaste.
Namaste.
My name is Mahima. 2 years ago in Buddha, Buddha appeared in my dream and tied one amulet to my right hand. What is the meaning?
Obviously, as a Buddhist, so obviously very good. But you should not sort of satisfy on that level. Now, must make effort, firstly, to learn what is Buddha's teaching. And then the more detailed explanation about Buddha's teaching carried by Nalanda masters like Nagarjuna. You from South India? South India. So most, Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh. Oh, Nagarjuna's own place, Marve. Andhra Pradesh. So you must sort of study these Nalanda masters who text, as I do. Even these days, now person, quite old now, 79 old. Quite old, isn't it? If you judge my face, do you think what age? Right? What do you think? Karsa? 30? That, I think if you look closely, some white hair here. So not old, 30 years old. Maybe 60, like that. So anyway, so even you say old person, quite busy, but whenever I have time, I always study, read, and contemplate, because of contemplation, these books. Really, these books not like history book. History book, because read once, then finished. These books, again and again. I think 10 times, 100 times, read. And not only just read, think. Then at least some sort of your daily time, portion, in daily life, at least at the beginning maybe 30 minutes, some deeper thinking. That's we call meditation. Firstly, analytical meditation, analyze. Then you develop some kind of firm conviction. Then, without analyze, remain that sort of feeling or understanding, deeper understanding, put on that without further investigation. So that we call analytical meditation. That's vipassana. Another single-pointed meditation, that we call samadhi or shamatha. So shamatha, vipassana must go combinedly. Firstly, vipassana, analyze. Then through analytical meditation, you get some kind of experience or firm sort of kasota, conviction. Then meditate on it. Like any subject, love, karuna, maitri, bodhisattva, bodhicitta, all these, and shunyata, emptiness. First analyze, and then meditate on it. Clear? I start my practice at age 14, 15. Now 79. So progress, not like rocket, like walk, but very stable. Rocket sometimes fail. Why walk? Oh, no danger. That years, decades, real transformation develop. Of course, I never say I'm something special. No, never. We are same human being. But I utilize human potential according to these sort of text which wrote by experienced great masters. Not only great experience, but full knowledge. All these Nalanda masters I usually describe or introduce as a professors of Nalanda institution. So like that. So please pay more attention for study. then contemplation, then meditation. Next question.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for this audience, by the way. My question is, can an altruistic act ever be completely selfless? Because surely all altruistic acts feed the ego. The only example I can think of is a mother sacrificing her life for a child.
As I mentioned earlier, altruism combined with wisdom. Altruism, some kind of blind faith, no. Altruism combined with wisdom. And then, actually, altruism really brings maximum benefit to oneself. Therefore, sometimes I call we are selfish. All sentient beings are generally selfish. Then I say we should be wise selfish rather than foolish selfish. So you see, taking care about others' well-being. Ultimately, you get maximum benefit.
Exactly.
So that's my answer. Now, next question.
My question for you is, how have you kept your faith despite such hardships, having been in exile for so many years? And what can we, when we go back to our home countries, do to help? Because so many of us are affected by what we see, by what we hear, by what we've learned since being here. And we want to reach out in a meaningful, positive way.
I think firstly, as I mentioned earlier, you see, self-confidence is very essential. So here, sometimes I describe our struggle is the struggle between, the power of truth and the power of gun. And question is what? Oh, that one, yes. So, power of truth brings self-confidence and can be transparent. That brings trust. That brings support. Power of gun, deep insight, fear, anxiety. So, you see, cannot carry these work transparently. A lot of censorship, a lot of distortions, distorted information. So, long run, power of truth always remain strong. Power of gun, short term, yes, very powerful, very decisive, but the long run, difficult. So that's, I think, one aspect. And then secondly, use human intelligence. We are not seeking independence. We are not seeking separation from peoples of China. Chinese, our brothers, sisters, they're also human beings. Number of Chinese really showing us real sort of concern and support. If we too much emotion and make distinction Chinese, Tibetan, then things become more difficult, harder. We respect them. But we mainly is concerned mutual benefit. So, the wisdom side, you see, we should be realistic and wider perspective, interest for wider perspective. Like that. So that's source. So you have to think these lines, and then I usually call Tibetan cause is just cause, and strictly follow non-violent principle. So support Tibet, not just pro-Tibetan, but rather pro-justice. So think that way. Next question.
Ursa ni beba nammi chila le chiki.
Oh, yes. One time I noticed in Orissa, you see some Orissa, and also you see Balakopi in this Tibetan settlement, there are sort of also the family who sort of Kasoda.
Ani di beba junju pe cutting chimbut onju gyagala le pekas minkyo ala pe pentus.
Thank you. Thank you. So she, Indian, serving one Tibetan family in Orissa settlement. And then she expressed, look, very much appreciate that family's sort of kindness. So I really, I really feel happy. Sometimes there also is a danger, exploitation, isn't it? One time in Bombay, one local official with their family, they came to see me, and one one servant, one Indian lady. As I usually do, they shake hand, the official and his wife. Then one servant, one lady, carry their child. I also shake hand, try to there. That lady hesitant. The concept of higher, lower. And also, you see, the India's, I think one of backwardness of India is caste system. Ruling caste. And look down those low caste. That's why you see Buddha deliberately, you see, emphasis. As far as practice is concerned, no difference of caste. Low caste, also human being. So in modern India, constitution give us equal. But sometimes still 1,000-year-old tradition, sometimes still you see quite strong. Like that. So you Indian, another sort of your responsibility is, you see, must make effort, you see, to bring equal. Equal will not achieve through hatred, through anger, but through education, through effort. That's very, very important. Next question.
My question is that to attain joyfulness and blissfulness, we need to be in harmony with the surroundings and harmony with everyone around us. But today there is so much of I and individuality like in every person, and everyone has their own harmony and everyone has their own perception of truth. So how do we actually start to be in harmony with people around us and then multiply that on a bigger society level to attain that happiness?
Absolutely right. Existing society, in fact, I think 7 billion human beings, I think basically very much oriented about material value. Even religious people also consider money is very, very important. That's why you see many unhappy things happen. So you see change or sort of struggle, such sort of the overwhelming situation, difficult. At the same time, it is totally wrong. Now we can't change these things because this is the overwhelming situation. That is a pessimistic attitude. That is source of failure. This is beginning of 21st century. If we make attempt now, later part of 21st century can be better world. So now that very much related with education. Existing now, India also, existing Indian modern education introduced by Britisher. Then Europe, about 1,000 years ago, you see separate education institutions started. I remember Bologna University. Few years ago, I invited for their 1,000-year anniversary. So, when about 1,000 years ago, separate education institutions started, then moral ethics taken care by church. So, the newly developed or established the education institution now no need pay much attention about moral ethics, these things, or inner development. So, time passes, the effect from church comparatively reduce. The value of family also you see reduce. So then the education institution alone have the responsibility to take care both brain and heart. Now existing now education system very much take care about the brain, not heart. So now with help of number of scientists, educationists, our last now at least I think 10, 20 years, 15 years, we already start the research how to introduce moral ethics, or another word, education for warm-heartedness, into secular education field. So that's why, as I mentioned earlier, see, only secular ethics can fit in secular education field. If you see the moral ethics, education about moral ethics based on religion, then like India, very difficult. Isn't it? So therefore, now we must think. So I usually say making distinction, generation of 20th century and the generation of 21st century. My generation is the generation of 20th century. Now 20th century already gone. So my generation now about to say bye-bye. So now generation of 21st century. Now you have the opportunity to make different world. Past, nobody can change. Past is past. Future, possibility, change. Who will change? Who is going to change where? Who change where? Who can change? Human being, not bird, not animal, even not God. God not troublemaker. We are troublemaker. So we must change. Isn't it? So therefore, how to change our way of life is through education. So existing education not adequate about moral ethics. So we must introduce secular education about secular ethics, which can fit in modern education field, so that from kindergarten up to university level, we can include these education. These not talking about next life or God or heaven or Buddhahood. We're talking how to build healthy human being, individual, healthy society, healthy family. So irrespective what belief. So that we are working originally some American scientist and educationist. Now we already start, and they also is already as a sort of experiment. They already carry, you see, these work. Now in India, some university in Delhi now showing interest. So soon, also draft the secular ethics completed. Then we will going to discuss with some of the university in Delhi and also Meerut area also, you see, like that. Then I think we can further sort of discuss or involve like Bombay, Chennai, Bangalore, all these bigger colleges or universities. Then, firstly, as an experiment, if result comes satisfactorily, then I think national level, or first the state level, then because of the national level. I think we can do that. And America also, I think state. I think we can carry first few years as experiment, then become something concrete or confidence. Then we can eventually, like a universe, like a United Nation, can involve, isn't it? So this is long-term long-term sort of challenge and need long-term effort. So the result of these thinking, my lifetime will not achieve. My lifetime means another, I think, 15, 20 years. I don't think. 20 means 100 years. Then on wheelchair.
Still can smile.
So these generation of 21st century, you have opportunity, you have the responsibility, you have potential. Think seriously these things. Clear? Personally, commitment, these things. That's very, very important. That's the only sort of basis of our hope. If we neglect, simply complain, won't happen. Must do something through education. These things, not through force, but through awareness. Everybody, you should take care of oneself. And one's individual's sort of interest depend on the family. Family's interest depend on the society. Like that. So, altruistic, not something you completely forget, right? You forget your own interest. Never. So that way, I think world, in early part of 20th century, I think many people, particularly Europeans, you see, war is something part of our life, isn't it? And one nation declare war, every citizen of the country, without a slight question, proudly join war effort. Now that kind of thinking completely changed, isn't it? So therefore, I think, and then my own sort of experience, according to my own experience, last 10, 15 years, you see, when I when I mention these things, everywhere, students, everywhere is really showing genuine interest. I think in early 60s, maybe sort of less interest. Now things are changing. I think humanity becoming more mature through our lot of experiences. I think here any Germans, No German. One. You. 1, 2, oh, 3, oh, few Germans, yes. Recently I was in Germany, in Frankfurt. Of course, firstly Latvia. Oh, any Latvian? No Latvian. Recently I was in Latvian and mainly give talks to Russians. So how many Russians here? 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Nothing of 58
Oh,
Russians.
Russian, oh, right. So main purpose, go to Latvia is to talk Russians who cannot come to India because of poor. So last year, when I was in Latvia, gives a short talk about Buddhism. So some Russians afterward approached to me. They mentioned they are poor Russians. They cannot afford go to India. So any possibility, some arrangement, my talk in Latvia. And it is not easy. Firstly, I consult with the Latvian organization who invited me. Then they say, okay, very good. So then this year, the only purpose to visit Latvia is give teaching or talk to Russians. So about 15,000 Russians. So they again, you see, ask me next year. So they mentioned about now 5,000-6,000 Russians will come next year. So long, Russian government not allow me go to Russia. So only thing is, and then I think strangely, except Japan and Mongolia, no Buddhist country allowed me to visit because I am Buddhist. Of course, obviously, you see, because of political sort of reasons like that. So those Russians, very, very serious, really serious. And actually, next year, the text, the Pramana Vattika Karika's second chapter, because you see, I think in the 19th century, one Russian already, Chervasky, already translated that text into Russian. I think, 페이지 뒤집으시면 돼요. 남들 싸워줄게.
So perhaps the comment you're saying that perhaps this was the only translation of Pramana Vartika, which was written by Dharmakirti into Russian on Buddhist logic and epistemology.
Well, so you should not that. Okay. Next question. No, last question.
Jai Gurudev. I am from India actually. I would like to know about that my great father of nation Gandhi has given a slogan of about the non-violence. Now in the today's conditions, when the neighboring countries are having a lot of problems, they are creating the problems of the terrorism and all that. The political parties are also changing. What is your suggestion, sir? Can we continue with this non-violence series or not, please?
I think ahimsa, non-violence, is really, I think, a human way of approach. Violence is not a human way of approach. So, as I mentioned earlier, I think all world desire for peace really grow. I think from New Zealand, Australia, Japan, and up to United States and Canada and South America, I think everywhere, I think the people really fed up about violence. I think overall, how disappear Berlin Wall, not by force. but by popular movement. And the way collapse of Soviet Union, not by force. Again, popular sort of what's the movement. So like that, I think overall world trend is more peaceful. Of course, Africa, and now Ukraine, these so some problems. I think these are pockets here and there. Overall world, I think becoming, as I mentioned earlier, more mature. So I'm hopeful. So India's non-violent principle is, I think, example of rest of the world, as I mentioned earlier. Look, neighboring states. Compare neighboring states. India, I think, over billion population, comparatively very peaceful, very stable. It's a political parties, politicians. It's sometimes you see a little bit sort of also there, because of ngarbo. I don't know the way you see they talk, a little bit sort of aggressive, but basically very, very stable, very peaceful, isn't it? I think now today India, 1.2 billion population, most populated democratic country. I think recent election, I think really shows to the world India's sort of healthy democracy. These are, I think, the result of concept of 1,000-year-old India's, or say they believe, non-violence, ahimsa, and religious harmony. So I think you little bit, you see, look from Kazoda, pockets is negative side. And that cannot generalize whole India's sort of picture. That's how I feel. So I think India, no matter how difficult it is, you must carry the ahimsa principle. And ahimsa, according to ahimsa principle, the realistic method is through dialogue, not by use force. And meantime, the other side's sort of attitude, according other side's sort of attitude, sometimes you also need some sort of countermeasure. That also is understandable. But basically, India must carry the ahimsa principle. Very, very important. Now, last question. Only one question now. Last. Yes, now last question.
I have a very simple question, sir. Thank you. I'm wondering, do you like to dance?
When I was young, I think 7, 8 years old, I found some Tibetan Tibetan folk dance like that. But some songs, of course, not allowed. But low voice, sometimes I do. Now, no interest now. But at the same time, I appreciate these artists or dancers, right? I appreciate. At least no harm.
I had a small dream one night that you and I were dancing.
Oh, then good, very good. No harm. Yes.
महाराष्ट्र में बहुत सारे टेम्पल्स हैं लेकिन वहाँ कोई लामा नहीं स्टिचिंग करने के लिए.
Then please keep contact with my office. And certainly, actually, I think a few years ago, I asked concerns for the people. Now we should train some knowledgeable the monks and nuns, Hindi language, or different or Marathi. Yes, certainly. So we can send. For the time being, I think need translator. So it is our duty as a chela, our duty to fulfill the Guru's hope or Guru's wish. Certainly. And all knowledge which we kept over 1,000 years, all are Indian knowledge. So now, only happy, you see, to return. To repay, like that. So please keep contact my office. Then certainly, okay, there's no problem. Now, thank you. Now, then last question. Yes, one last question. Only one now. Only one.
Sir, in India, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar prepared Indian Constitution.
Yes.
In India, all religious people live in very peaceful. But United Nations, why not accept or why not listen, take it for Indian Constitution?
That's not my business.
Sit. Come on, this
Okay.
It is a child we want to treat. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.